And joining me now is the Union Minister for Housing and Urban Development, Hardeep Puri, under whose watch this project is being conducted. Appreciate your joining us, Mr. Puri. Today, the Delhi High Court dismissing that petition that was seeking to stop the construction work on the Central Vista Avenue project. The court said work at the Central Vista Avenue is part and parcel of the work of the Central Vista, which is an essential project of national importance and cannot be seen in isolation. Now, many activists, urban planners from day one have questioned the use of the word essential service by the government for a Central Vista project that is restructuring the way government buildings will be in the heart of the national capital. Can you now tell us today why you and your government have chosen to use the word essential services for this grand project?
Look, first and foremost, these are technical terms used. The High Court has not used the word. As far as I remember, this is a 23-page judgment, which I am still to go through fully because I've just got it a few minutes before I came on your program. They said this is a project of national importance. And they said that the Delhi Disaster Management Authority does not provide for stoppage of work. And they have said that they have been assured that necessary arrangements have been made at the site for those working, for protocols to be followed, social distancing, etc. And during the course of a press conference earlier today, I pointed out that for the Parliament building, out of the 1,300 people working on the site, workers, 900 had already been vaccinated. So let us separate the two. Today, I was waiting for the judgment of the Delhi High Court because the limited issue before the Delhi High Court was whether during the pandemic the work should be stopped. Quite apart from that, construction activity has been permitted in Delhi in any case. But I should draw your attention to the fact that construction activity was going on in Delhi in dozens of other sites, including those which my ministry deals with, which is the ITPO, for instance, which is a huge project. But our social activist friends that I, grant them that, privilege in a democracy. Anybody can go to any forum and agitate. But all this had been cleared by the Honorable Supreme Court. Supreme Court had said that we have taken all the permission, we have followed the due process. In spite of that, they went to stop this work in the Central Vista Avenue, which is a small project, 400 crores, and Parliament building, which is less than 900 crores. Total 1,300 crores project, which is time bound.
No. Mr. Puri, you're not answering my question. Why is it that the government, through the Solicitor General, went to the court, called this an essential service? What is essential about the Central Vista project? Was it simply the timeline that you had to meet for next year, 2022, 75 years or independence? Is there something else of essential that makes this project essential for national importance, buildings for VVIPs?
No. When we went to the court, it was already after all the clearances had been provided by the Supreme Court. All the statutory clearance, everything we got. We started this work prior to the second wave. That is the point I'm making. Now, if you stop the work here or in any other construction project, in essence, you are going to lay off the workers. I mean, some contractors who have some cushion may keep the workers on, but the others will say, this is a time-bound project. I'm not going to get paid if the work stops, and I'm not going to pay the workers. So you're compounding a problem. This is quite apart from the fact that in a pandemic where you need economic activity, if you are able to create a bubble, then you need to keep the construction activity on in order to revive economic activity. Anyway, the High Court has given us a very clear thing on it, and construction activity in Delhi opened up.
Mr. Puri, as you said, construction activity on the Central Vista had started before the second wave of the pandemic. Point taken. However, the optics of the entire exercise is what is being questioned by many. That at a time when it appears that the mighty Indian state is struggling to provide its citizens with oxygen cylinders, with beds, with vaccines, people are running helter-skelter. Here is a grand project going on which costs several hundred crores. You've today given a figure for the avenue itself, which is 1,300 crores along with the Parliament building. Others say the entire grand project could cost as much as 20,000 crores. All I am saying is the optics of it seem to be, according to your critics, misplaced. They suggest this is a vanity project for the Prime Minister and the government. How do you respond to those who call this a vanity project for Prime Minister Modi?
Well, I'll respond in very simple terms. Let me break them up. Central Vista is the name of the overall project, which includes 10 government buildings where 51 government departments and ministries will be housed. It will have a central conference facility. It will have an Indira Gandhi National Center for Performing Arts on a global scale, like in Sydney or in New York. It will have museums shifting here, a Prime Minister's house, residence institutionally for any Prime Minister who's elected, Vice President's house. First point, no heritage building is being brought down. Number two, not vanity, essential. Let me explain to you. This Parliament building demand came during the Congress time in 2012. And if you were to postpone it any further, many of us would have been guilty of criminal neglect because the building is in seismic zone 4. It will fall on our heads. It is completely hollow inside and is not safe for inhabitation. That's why before the winter session of next year, when we celebrate the 75th anniversary, we need a new Parliament building. Central Vista Avenue is time-bound because of the 26th January parade. Now, all the other projects have to be designed. Vanity project, whose vanity? They're talking of Modi Mahal.
Modi Mahal. They're calling it a Modi Mahal.
The head of a political party, I don't think he's any longer. He said Modi Mahal will cost 13,000 crores. You know, Rajdeep, it may well end up, I'm being cautious in my word, total project Central Vista, all the government buildings, everything put together may not be more than 14,000 crores because these are tendered costs. Number one. Number two, why are we picking on this? We need a new Parliament. Same thing on vaccine. We're talking about, there's no binary between the two. 35,000 crores were set aside for vaccine. And I can tell you as a member of the GUM, if you need more money for vaccine, it will be provided. If you need money for oxygen, we have met that demand, but we don't stop activity. What perception? This is perception narrative being falsified by the Congress party and others. And now that they've scored a self-goal, they will try and find out if somebody. Rahul Gandhi tweeted, Modi ji, हमारे बच्चों की वैक्सीन कहाँ है? वो राजस्थान के कूड़े के उसके अंदर पड़ी है because of wasting 500 vials. Limited point I'm making is let's have a serious discussion where we are able to respond to issues in the public domain with a strict degree of maturity.
So that's why I've got you on the show for a serious